Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Gap Gracepoint Online. It's wonderful to have you guys joining us, and we're really looking forward to spending some time with you today. This is a new segment that we're doing just for you called Big Questions. We know that you have a lot of big questions, that it's very difficult at times to find the answers that you want, and it can be hard to go through life not knowing or to have these questions and not know where to answer them or where to get the answers to them. So we want to help you in these videos navigate some of these big questions. Today's topic is questions. Is it okay to have questions? You may have wondered, why do I have so many questions? And is it actually okay that I have so many questions? Are people going to get mad at me when I ask questions? Where do I ask these questions? All about questions is what we're going to be talking about today. And so let's jump straight into our topic for today, the big questions. Now, the first thing to remember is that it is perfectly okay to have questions. If someone had to ask me, is it alright for me to have questions? I would have to say yes, yes, and yes. It is perfectly alright to have questions. Asking questions and wondering about what we see and experience through life is part of our learning experience. And so we learn by asking questions. Yes, people may get tired of you asking questions at times. It's all about just picking your timing. If you are rushing to get out the door in the morning and your mom is super stressed or your dad is running out the door to get to work, that might not be the best time to ask a big question. So maybe write the question down, put a note on your phone or write it down on your diary so that you can get back to that question later. Sometimes parents are at work and it might be a really bad time for them to try to start thinking about things other than work at that time. So say, Mom, Dad, auntie, uncle, guardian, parent, whoever's looking after you, say, I've got a big question. Can we maybe talk about this later? That way, you also give them a chance to start thinking about it. You might want to just mention the question before to give them time to think about it. Just remember, your parents are also learning about the world and learning how to parent you, just like you're learning how to grow up and how to be with your parents. They also just want to do their best for you. So it might be helpful just to put some time aside with them to agree, let's talk later. A couple of things that are really important to remember as you start to wonder about questions. It's okay to question your faith at times. It's also okay for adults or parents not to have all the answers. And it's okay sometimes to not be able to find all the answers to questions. Truth is, some questions just don't have simple answers. Questions like, why is there so much suffering in the world? Or why do bad things happen to good people? Are questions that people have been asking for generations and generations. And the truth? We still haven't come up with perfect or simple answers. And so be open to people telling you, I don't know. That doesn't mean to stop asking. It just means continue questioning, but don't expect simple or easy answers. So where do you start when you've got a big question? Well, one great place to start is by asking a trusted parent or a trusted adult for help. This might not be your parent if you feel like you can't speak to your parent. Maybe it's a teacher, a mentor, a sports coach, but find someone you feel really gets you, really understands. Also, make sure that person's got a little bit of experience or know-how in that topic. There's nothing worse than getting tips from people who really have no idea what they're talking about. Imagine trying to ask a chef how to spot game in the bush, or asking a game ranger how to cook a 5-course meal. Their fields are not related, and so it might be better to ask the chef how to cook a 5-course meal and ask a game ranger how to spot the big 5 in the bush. Ask people that know what they're talking about. So what happens if they don't have the answers that you're looking for? Well, research is really important as well. You know what you would normally do for school if you have a question. You would Google. That's great. There's nothing wrong with Googling to find answers. But just remember that not everything that you read on the internet is true, credible, reliable, or real. Wikipedia is one of those sites where anyone could edit, so be wary of sites like Wikipedia. But also remember that other sites like blogs are opinion-based, which means that it is anyone who can write what they like. Be careful. And sometimes it's best just to look at a couple of sources and then to ask somebody, hey, is this actually true? Mom, dad, auntie, uncle, granny, I read this on the internet. Is this the right answer? Is this the right track? Ask them and find a great way to answer these questions together. Lastly, remember that having big question conversations can be awkward. And lean into that awkwardness. It's okay for things to be awkward sometimes because life is all about making the most of it. Sometimes you may just need to embrace the fact, joke about it, be like, this is awkward. Remember, your parents or the adult that you're talking to may be feeling awkward about the topic too. So laugh about it, have fun, and then get straight into the topic. Most importantly, guys, don't forget it's okay to ask questions. Ask those questions, ask good questions, and learn more about God, about yourself, about life, and about family. Please join us again next time for another episode of Big Questions for Preteens.